everybody, it's Eric with Better Every Shave. Today I've got a razor report and a shave on the Henson AL13. This is the medium variety in the natural aluminum. I've shaved with this razor 3 times now, and I know that doesn't exactly give me a world of knowledge to work from, but the 3 shaves that I've had have been really, really good quality shaves. It's a very interesting razor. The whole point of it is to not really feel the blade so much and to still get an efficient shave, which I have found that to definitely be the case. I've also tried 3 different blades in it and have had a good shave with all 3. I probably had the best shave with the Kai, and possibly because it has a slight bit more width to the blade, so I could possibly fill the blade just a little bit more with that one, but it was still very comfortable. And I mean, honestly, you're hard pressed to kind of feel much engagement on the blade, but that's okay, because what's great is you can still hear the feedback. So it doesn't, I think if you couldn't feel the blade and there wasn't much feedback, it would be deceptive enough that it wouldn't feel right. Like, I think you might actually think that there was something wrong with it, or that you just didn't like the way it felt because there wasn't enough engagement or efficiency or whatever. But the fact that it does make a good bit of noise whenever you're shaving with it, a lot of feedback, so that helps me at least know that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So let's go ahead and take a look top down, get some weight and measurements, and show putting a blade in and some of that fun stuff, and then we'll get to the shave. Okay, so here we are with the Henson AL13 Medium variety, and let's go ahead and get this taken apart. Under the cap is where it actually tells you, so it has 2 pluses. Not sure if you can see that. I think you can. So 2 pluses right there. And that signifies medium. If you have 1 plus, then it would just be the standard. I don't know if they call it standard or mild, but they consider this the medium. This is aluminum construction, very, very lightweight. I'm going to go ahead and load a blade in just so you can see how that looks. And we'll see if you can hear too. It's amazing the amount of crunch down there is, because this kind of the whole point of this razor is the way that it clamps the blade in order to get rid of any kind of chatter, and that's really what the big tout for this. So see if you can see the amount of sort of squish that goes there. I keep a a plastic washer on here. You really don't have to, because they have a special ring here that accounts for that. It will stop the metal on metal fatigue, but I don't know, I just like to use the washer. The reason I like it too is there is a certain softness to it, and so whenever you clamp it down, you can kind of I don't know, I like the positive sort of locking feel that it has. So anyway, so there we go. There's the overhang. And, it's certainly there. It's not nothing, but there's very little. Certainly when you're shaving, you certainly don't feel it very much. So, all right, let's get the scale. Let's see what this weighs. And we will start in grams. 38.3. Let's switch that over to ounces. We have 1.347 ounces. All right, so yes, absolutely, very lightweight razor. Let's go ahead and get the measurements. So one of the reasons I like this razor is I do appreciate a slightly longer handle. I know a lot of people prefer a shorter handle, but I like this one. I also like that it tapers, and I think what that reminds me of is a Schick Krona, their twist to open double-edge razor. It has the same sort of taper to it, and I really like It's actually more of a taper than this, but I like the taper. I don't know what it is about that, but the way it sits in my fingers and the way it hits my pinky, I just feel like I have a lot of control with this. So, all right. So we have, we're sitting just over 4 inches. So maybe 4 1/4. No, not quarter, 4 1/8. And in terms of millimeters, excuse me, I'm going to say that is about 104. Yeah. Yes. So somewhere around like 104, I think, is right where that is, or 10.4 centimeters. So, so certainly, a little bit on the longer side at the 4-inch mark, certainly for people who like the shorter razor, or shorter handle. But again, this is very comfortable for me, and the Knurling doesn't look like there's very much, but it has these pretty distinguished raised pieces, and the lines themselves almost borderline sharp. I mean, not to where it would cut you or anything, but they are sharp enough that whenever you hold it, it's very secure in your hands. So, little rounded bottom, and no real markings outside. There was the marking I showed you under the head, but that's it. It's pretty iconic looking. It does say Henson around the top here. Not sure if you can see that, but otherwise, yeah. And this comes in many different colors. So I have the plain aluminum, excuse me, and there's red, blue, gold. Geez, I think there might even be other colors beyond that, like purple, pink, maybe. They have lots of different colors. But that's great because then they appeal to other people. Like I said, there's the mild version, the medium version in aluminum, and then they have the titanium as well. They also right now are doing a sign up for an efficient head or an aggressive head, or I guess it's the plate, the base plate. And there's a sign up sheet. I'll put a link for it if you have an interest in that plate. It's a Google Doc or a Google form, I guess, and you would just fill out some information. They're trying to gauge how many they should make based on the interest they get. So I'll go ahead and link that so that you can sign up if you're interested. So there you go. There's weights, measures, all of that fun stuff. And let's go ahead and take a look at the shave. All right, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. I'm kidding. This is Cremo for pre-shave, because I don't like it as a shaving cream, but it works well for that. Here's the razor we just looked at, the Henson AL13 Medium. Chiseled faced. This is chiseled face. That's their Sherlock. It definitely whipped up into something special. It's a very, very soft soap. Like very much like a crope. Very, very soft. And so when I went to scoop it out of the container, I put the guitar pick like all the way to the bottom accidentally, and ended up with like this huge blob of soap, and ended up only needing like about 1/4 of it. So I think I would say maybe a teaspoon's worth. And from that teaspoon, I got just gobs and gobs and gobs of lather. Just fantastic lather. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm using a Kai blade. And I also still had that red spot on my cheek from where the Razor Rock Mamba 70 took a bite out of me. And no, I don't blame the razor at all. It's entirely my fault. So I believe this was my first shave, and I'm trying to do these videos as I get new razors or new to me razors. I'm trying to capture my first shave with them. More or less just so I kind of give you an honest first impression. There's nothing wrong with using the razor a bunch of times and getting to know it and then coming back and... and sharing that with folks. I certainly don't begrudge anyone who does that, who wants to practice a little bit and make sure. I'm not doing these to be educational so much as I am just sharing my experience with you. If you find something, some sort of lesson in that, great. But it's really, see, hold that skin, boy. I knew that cut was there. I'm trying not to hit it. Yeah. So I'm really not trying to. I don't know anything about anything, right? I mean, I know what I know from the razors I've used, from the amount of stuff that I've read and watched and experienced for myself, and I think that's what this is really all about. Is it's your own experience. If anyone learns anything from these, I'm flattered and happy that that's the case. But really, this is much more about just sharing my experience and being a part of the conversation, I guess. So I would like to think that I have some sort of opinion that's worth sharing, but I'm not kidding myself. I don't have the experience or the knowledge to consider myself any sort of an authority. So yeah. So this was, I can't say that this was my absolute favorite fragrance, but you can see just how how slick and moist that soap is, like the shine on it, even on my cheeks. Just fantastic. And I whipped it up with the Yachi Timberwolf brush in that yellow bowl is a DS Cosmetics bowl. Yeah, so here we are on pass 3 already. This is really where it shines for me. So the with the grain and across the grain was fine. It took off as much as I think you'd expect a mild razor to take off. But this is really where it broke through for me. Like after this, this was just so mild. It was really, especially here, like under my jawline, that's where I normally have a lot of irritation from efficient razors or aggressive razors because I'm too dumb to not to not back off. Like I really want that part of my neck to be smooth, because if it isn't, then I kind of feel like I didn't get a good shave. And the problem is that it can be a really hard place to get the hairs because they grow in all different directions. And if it's also sort of soft skin, so if I'm hitting that with a razor that's kind of efficient, it's just easy to really sort of bomb that area and make it very unhappy. No amount of, and that was BOMB, not BAL, but no amount of BALM will fix the BOMB because I overdo it, and it's so dumb because I know I'm going to do it and I still do it anyway. So hopefully I will figure this stuff out eventually, but yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and rinse off here and finish up the shave. Alright, so the tail of the tape. Let's see how we did. Let's try it. Here we go with again. It's not there's no one in the bathroom with me. It's just me. So I think I did okay. Yeah, I'm saying no irritation here. And but I still had a fantastic smooth shave. Now, I will say, this is me recording this voiceover a couple of days later, but I will say that the durability of the shave and how long it lasted as a smooth shave was not as... It didn't last as long as, say, if I used either an ejector or something that was maybe a slight bit more efficient. So this would be great, I think, if you were a daily shaver, because you'd really be able to get a super clean, close shave without really any irritation. And you could do that every day, I think, with this razor and not have any problems whatsoever. All right, so there you have it. A shave with the Henson AL13 Medium. And good shave that it was. I really enjoyed that razor. I will continue to use it. And especially if I ever need to clean up and I don't have much growth, because I'm almost guaranteed a smooth, close shave with no irritation, and I can do that within 24 hours, or less than, let's say, 48 hours, because I'm usually an every other day shaver. So I have every bit of confidence that I would be able to pick up this razor and and shave with 12 to 24 hours of growth and have zero irritation. I'm sure some of that's blade dependent. So I mean, if you were putting maybe a blade in here that wasn't a good fit for this razor, or a good fit for your face, you might have a less than stellar shave with it. But at least with the Kai blade I used, and I've also used a Tatra and a Bic in here, and all three of them worked perfectly for me. But those blades work well for me and other razors too, so not a surprise. But anyway, that's it. Great razor. I've really enjoyed it. I totally get the whole thinking behind it by clamping that blade, and no chatter, and yeah, it's a great system. Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention, I saw a series of pictures where someone had shown the razor clamped all the way down and what the blade looks like then, and then if you, I guess, turn it, loosen it just a little bit, and I'm going to see if I can see the blade pop out a little, but I guess if you loosen it a little, the clamping force of the head is let up, and then the blade is allowed to sort of open outward further. And yeah, I can definitely feel more of the blade now. So if I crank it back down, yeah, so the blade sort of recesses back beneath here. But if I go ahead and uncrank it a little, yeah, I can definitely feel more of the blade. So let's say this was your razor and you didn't have other razors, or let's say this is your razor and you found it to be too mild, or you had heavier growth than normal. You could maybe play around with that a little. And then again, I think that's maybe where this plastic washer might come in handy, because it'll let you still have some tension on there, but not be cranked all the way down. So anyway, that's all. I haven't had it long enough to really experiment enough with that sort of thing, but I just found it really interesting that someone had thought, oh yeah, if you unclamp it a little, the way that this bend is on the blade will let up a little, and then you'll have some more of the edge out of there. So that might completely ruin the characteristics of it, and it might be a terrible razor if you do that, but I honestly don't know. Thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate your time. I really genuinely have gotten some wonderful feedback and comments from people, and I appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, if you want to just join in the conversation, please leave a comment below. Hit me up on social media, whatever makes sense for you. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, this is Eric saying happy shaves, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.